Hi and welcome to our cloud education webcast, Streamline Your Multi-Entity Consolidations and Management. In this session, we'll show you how to meet the challenge of multi-entity management through better, real-time visibility of your financials and how Sage can help you close up to 65% faster. You'll see some examples in dollars during this webcast. Contact your business partner for more UK examples.
In this webinar, we'll first lay the groundwork and discuss why organizations have multi-entities and the signs that you're outgrowing your current ME management process. I'll show you how a system that was designed to address these needs can simplify its management. And finally, we'll talk about how you can get better real-time visibility of your financials with the flexibility to switch between local and consolidated views. Now, some of you may have already multiple entities, but some of you may be single entity companies. So let's start by answering the question, why do entities matter? Managing legal entities can pose significant challenges when companies try to deal with it using the financial system that they've had since they were just a one or two entity company. Finance teams can struggle to perform tasks like consolidation, reporting, and analysis of operational and financial data across the entities. We usually see this triggering at 3 entities. But even if you don't have other entities now, you should still be thinking about this, especially if you have plans to expand overseas or add an entity for legal protection, M&A, or joint partnership plans. From what we've seen at Sage, if you have entities, you probably grow 2 to 3 entities per year. And without the right systems and processes in place, that can lead to a lot of challenges for your team and business. Why is multi-entity management so challenging? Many systems, or systems architected 20 to 30 years ago, that work for companies when they're smaller or less complex, were designed for single-entity organizations. If you'd expect it to change along with your organization's growth, it'll require rewriting it. In the meantime, you'll have to use Excel, multiple instances for each entity, and that leads to a lot of slowdowns in the business. You might be feeling the effects of having outgrown your system if you need multiple instances of your software to report on and consolidate your entities. You do manual reconciliations in Excel, and you're experiencing chart of accounts drift. And the symptoms of this are consolidations take days to weeks, board books are late, inter-entity transactions and eliminations are manual and error-prone, multi-currency reporting is also manual and error-prone, losing evenings or weekends has become a usual part of your close. And there are some hidden costs as well. Setting up new entities takes more than a day, and maybe even costly consultants. And each entity that's set up could require a whole re-implementation. Re-implementing the system in a multi-instance environment also leads to a chart of accounts drift. So, as you get bigger, this pain is really non-linear. 5 entities isn't 5 times as bad, but 8 to 10 because of the coordination cost and so on. That's because non-native cloud systems developed long ago assumed we lived in a single-entity world, and this has implications for their architecture and your processes and the things you're able to do within the system as your business grows. To illustrate what that means, think of it as driving a car to travel. That works great to a certain point, but then you need to travel longer distances, overseas, and you need to get there faster. Bolting on new parts to the same car probably won't serve you well. You need a mode of transportation that was engineered as a plane from the beginning to cover distance and speed. That's how we view the difference between using Excel or multi-instance software to manage entities versus a cloud-native financial software that's purpose-built for multi-entity companies. Let's take a look at an example HR software company and jump ahead to what they were able to see after moving to Sage Intacct's cloud-native financial system, and all with 8 legal entities, 21 departments, and a lean finance team. Probably, similar to you, they're a growing company that faced increasingly complex accounting processes. This is a company where, with their previous on-premise software, users had to log in and out of their entities, do consolidations and reporting in Excel, and hope the numbers balance correctly. And that's what those time savings mean. The ability to be more strategic with the information that's always current and at your disposal. So we'll show you how you can consolidate in minutes, even if you have hundreds of entities and they're global, so you can roll up your financials at any time without having to wait on the close. And by doing so, you can see any issues across the business within the period, so you can fix the problem before the period is over. And we often hear from our customers the things they're able to do with that extra time, like being proactive in their strategic initiatives, coaching and developing their teams, and spending more time with their families. So, let's dive into defining the different ways of managing multi-entities and look into why growing companies opt for simplicity in multi-entity management. In a multi-instance environment, each entity has its own instance, meaning multiple logins and silos. Each entity has its own chart of accounts, which can lead to a chart of accounts drift. Each entity has its own database, vendors, customers, etc., to administer. Consolidations and eliminations are manual processes. The greater level of inter-entity transactions you have is all double keying. Each entity transaction is recorded twice, once in each entity. A multi-entity shared environment in the cloud saves time. You don't have to log in and out of your entities. You have role or user-based access to entities and can seamlessly move between them and view the ones you need. That way, you can run reports, transactions, or processes at consolidated or local level with a single login. You get all the benefits of a shared multi-entity environment, but at the same time, you'll still need flexible local settings. A modern cloud solution lets you have the best of both worlds. And with flexible local settings, you can maintain the entity's base currency, local reporting, and preserve local settings as needed in terms of customers, vendors, banks, workflows, and other items. We've had multi-entity capabilities from day one. Another crucial difference between multi-instance and shared environments is in the setup of new entities. In multi-instance environments, each entity could be a whole re-implementation, and any customizations need to be reapplied in setting up each entity. On the other hand, a multi-entity shared environment means you can set up new entities quickly and easily, no re-implementation needed. With the way Sage Intacct is designed, someone in finance or accounting is able to set up a new entity. You don't need an IT background or a consultant. There are guided setup options that are tailored for whatever stage your organization is in. Once set up, your inter-entity accounts are connected into your consolidation book and drive the consolidation process automatically, and always have visibility into inter-entity relationships. If you're a global organization, you have additional complexities you need to account for, especially when you need to account for multiple currencies across entities. Sage Intacct allows you to manage those complexities with built-in settings that make it easier for you to support your global operations. Flexible multi-currency settings allow you to set different base currencies by entity and produce reports or invoices in different currencies. These flexible settings make it easy for you to create consolidated reports for different stakeholders who want to see numbers in their home currency, and also help speed up billing by producing invoices in the local currency of your clients. Because processes like currency conversions and local tax reporting are automated, it means your information is always up to date, and you can trust that the numbers you're seeing are accurate. And solutions like Sage Intacct also offer streamlined global consolidations. Inter-entity transactions are automated at the point of consolidation, even across entities with different base currencies, which saves teams countless hours. Next, get more accurate financial and operational insight across your entities on a continuous basis by automating consolidations and inter-entity eliminations. This crucial automation lets you view your current financials at any time instead of waiting on the close. You get a current and accurate picture through dynamic dashboards or instantly pulled reports without the data exports to Excel. Here's another real-world story of that in practice. A regional dental practice was growing steadily with 17 offices and 5 entities, but they were experiencing growing pains with their on-premise accounting systems. Limitations in multi-entity accounting meant hours of manual work. They had each entity set up with its own software instance, but couldn't have more than 2 instances open at once, and there was no consolidated chart of accounts. That meant manual data entry to record entries at both an entity and consolidated level. It took 15 days to close the books, and the result was the dental practice lacked fast and flexible reporting needed for informed decision-making. Moving to Sage Intacct for their next phase of growth allows them to close 65% faster in 5 days. They cut consolidations about 84%. What took multiple days now takes part of a morning or an afternoon. And they're getting reports faster and more frequently, so operating off fresher information. And lastly, they can get a new entity set up in just 5 minutes. Here's what the controller at the regional dental practice said. Now, let's move on to how these attributes of a cloud-native, purpose-built system can deliver better financial visibility. Dashboards within Sage Intacct provide instant visibility into your most important KPIs. You can set up as many dashboards as you want and create them for processes like consolidations and month-end reporting. And dashboards are often set up to be role-based, for example, showing the metrics that matter most for a CFO, controller, or a project manager. Here, we're looking at a CFO dashboard that focuses on revenue, expenses, and margins. If the CFO wants to find out about the details that make up a number, they can drill down into the source transactions by clicking on the performance cards. So, knowing where your numbers are coming from is easily within reach from the dashboard. These dashboards also let you easily filter and organize the data by entity or entity group within the drop-down there on the right. So let's do that and jump into a local view of one of the US entities. Here we are with a local entity view. You can see how groups of entities or local entities are doing to benchmark against each other by filtering dashboards or reports in just a few clicks. And then you can make decisions based on the insights from your dashboard that can have a profound impact on your business. Many Sage Intacct customers have used flexible entity views to benchmark entities against each other to determine most profitable product or service lines. Applying these learnings to other entities have led to impressive results. We've seen a company double an entity's net revenue and, in another case, pull entities out of the red. So, here's a view of a consolidated balance sheet. Powerful multi-entity reporting allows you to capture financial results at a consolidated level. What that means is finance, accounting, and business teams can quickly run their reports at a bird's eye view. So you can create as many consolidated views as you want, maintain compliance by creating as many GAAP, IFRS, and tax books, use multi-book capabilities to cover specific processes like allocations and management books. Specific reports provide visibility at the entity or entity group level. Auto-elimination occurs at the point of consolidation. And it enables strategic decision-making at the consolidated or local level. And automation is key here. Automatically produced consolidation journals make the traceability of eliminations easy for troubleshooting, reconciliations, and audit. Automation provides consistency and accuracy for compliance. You can see the elimination with the source transaction. And you can be provided with easy audit traceability and reporting transparency to understand your consolidated numbers at a glance. Let's go back to our example with the HR company. The controller created personalized Sage Intacct dashboards for their managers and sales teams that show relevant information, like the current worksite employee count, department P&Ls with actuals versus forecast, and profitability of key service lines. And additionally, the leadership team has a monthly financial highlights dashboard that shows the working forecast, balance sheet summary, and quarterly P&Ls. The organization is able to make strategic business decisions and forecasting by tracking metrics that are important for them, like gross profit per worksite employee and the ratio of worksite employees to internal corporate employees, which are all kept in calculated fields right within Sage Intacct. This insight is critical, and they use it to determine how productive a particular region is from one month to the next, make decisions about whether the business should stay in that region, and forecast where they want to be. It's helping business maintain a clear picture of their health of the business to keep stakeholders informed. To recap, we've seen how a cloud financial solution purpose-built for multiple entities changes the way you work. Against many competitors, Sage Intacct has easier entity setup and easier elimination and traceability, both of which can add to countless time saved. We've also touched on how if your consolidations are taking a long time, you can't see intra-period issues in time, and you can't keep up the momentum using the same tools that were designed with single entity organizations in mind. And very importantly, cloud enables automated consolidations and eliminations, getting a current, accurate picture of financials in the hands of those who need it when they need it. And we saw how multi-entity shared systems remove the pains of dealing with re-implementing new entities or setting up separate chart of accounts, vendor lists, or customers. Instead, having everything synced for an accurate, single consolidated view, while also allowing for flexible local settings if some or all of your entities have their own vendor lists or customers. We've seen how two multi-entity companies use cloud financial management to boost their efficiency even as they grew in accounting complexity and got the information needed to support strategic business decisions, boost efficiency for better multi-entity management, gain visibility to make informed decisions for your organization, insights into profitability and metrics such as labor, marketing, and equipment as a percent of revenue have helped guide decisions, including selling off underperforming locations and acquiring new ones. Used reports to drill down to regional level. There, they were able to track productivity and profitability to determine which regions to continue working in, all without spreadsheet manipulation. This visibility also aids in forecasting to the future as a business grows. Claim back your time. Make the hours that you work matter. Focus on more strategic analysis and free up your time from the tedious accounting tasks. So, if you have 3 or more entities and are starting to run into some of these slowdowns, don't wait until it starts impacting the momentum of your company. We'd like to get the conversation started today. That wraps up this session on how you can streamline multi-entity consolidations and management. I hope you'll join us for the other webinars in this series.